Yo, what's up everyone out there, Ori and the Blind Forest fans? How are you doing tonight? We have an awesome final match of the evening between the 36 seed Fant and the 61 seed RainbowPoogle. To bring you this match, I am Trojan Do 12 and I'm joined by the one and only Vol'jin. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm very excited for this matchup. It is between two players who have already met up in the group stage of our tournament in the Gumo's Hideout group, and now they're going to be going at it again in the Eki division to see who's going to, kind of take the overall series. Fant, of course, having the 1-0 advantage in this series so far, but as you see, they're in the lower bracket here. The winner of this match is going to move on. They'll face whoever Hobbs loses between Raziel and Hobbs later in the round of 48. But let's talk about these runners a little bit. Let's set the stage for our viewers. What do you got, Trojan?
Yeah, so we're going to start with RainbowPoogle. She had been I've talked with her recently about some stuff, and she actually was being walled super hard at the sub 40 mark, but just in the last about 3 or 4 days, she's PB'd a couple times, and even just PB'd today, and now has her time down to a 37:04. And as you can see from the stat screen, that's over a 10-minute improvement since she entered, so that's pretty crazy. And she is a full controller runner. That's another thing to note, and hoping to get that best race time of 41:17 down.
Yeah, that's for sure. Both players hoping to do that as well. Fant on the left, seed number 36 in the tournament, just barely getting edged down into that lower half, and he's going to look to try to win his way back into the upper bracket. You see his PB is a 34:43, accomplished just a couple days ago, and he has been on pace to match that pretty regularly recently. Just earlier, he was actually on PB pace and lost it to Door Warp and Grenade Jump, which pretty typical experiences for a lot of runners as they're progressing along. But he was within striking distance of his PB, and he's getting that kind of pace regularly. So it's going to be a tough one for Poogle. Her PB being a 37. If Fant can just casually rattle off a 35, it's not super likely she's going to PB by another 2 minutes, but who knows, right?
Yeah, like her sum of best is in that, I think, like a mid to low 35 range. So it's definitely, I would say it's relatively doable to get like maybe another minute shaved off. But yeah, I think it is going to require Fant maybe making a couple of mistakes over the course of the run. As you can see from our beautiful radar graph over here, early game's pretty similar between the two, but Fant really has pulled away in the mid and late game. So that's where we're going to have to take a look and see if, Fant makes some mistakes, it'll keep it close, or if Poogle can just keep up with good play.
Yeah, and both of these runners having met before in the tournament, when they did meet up, it was, by both of their descriptions, it was kind of a spaghetti-filled, really not a great race for either of them. Fant ended up taking the victory, but he didn't really play up to his standards, and neither did Poogle for her part. That was, by their own admission, but now they both have substantially improved their times. They've both substantially improved their consistency, and we're hoping to see from both of them a really good race, regardless of the outcome.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping for that as well. And it looks like we are officially off right now. So I always look to see if somebody's going to get some swag in with some color coding. So far, it doesn't look like it so far, but just going to go for some vanilla Ori. And like I said, the early game being pretty close, it'll be interesting to see how I always enjoy looking at how people set up their XP routes because every runner does it differently. As I say that, it looks like Poogle's going for a little bit of a yellow Ori right here. Pretty neat.
Well, she did bust out the color code. It's hard to see, but you can make it out just that little bit. It's really subtle, and fortunately yellow is a nice bright color, so it won't cause her any problems. What you're always hoping not to see is Fant takes a couple damage from the Rhino, but fortunately he's fine, and he'll get a full heal from Sign. You never want to see those dark colors pop up, but fortunately they'll both be playing with the actual ability to see their character.
Yeah, and we're picking up our first skill, Speared Flame, aka Sign, our little companion. Getting a little bit of a tutorial and just killing some froggies at the start here. And we'll be off towards, the first trick with the Ghost Door after we get a couple keystones to go through there.
Yeah, and look at that. Both runners with basically identical mashing on that fight, so they're still literally neck and neck. That's really cool to see. Controller mashing is something that it's not super easy to do, and it's very easy to just mistime a little bit of your shots. You know, it's not as free as scroll wheel, but both runners not having a problem, and they're both both getting trolled on that jump pad there as they're trying to ascend here back to the main section and head towards that aforementioned ghost door.
Yeah, that animation from picking up stuff can be a really big troll. Sometimes it gets you off your rhythm a little bit. It'll lose you a couple seconds, but both runners got it equal as we're like almost, you know, synced up right here at the first keystone. I think both of them are at 3 HP. I don't think I've seen them take any damage, so they're both going to be going into 2 HP right here.
We'll see that as they dip into the water, have to take a little bit of swim. Oh, the fish helping both of them out, and they're still perfectly synced up. We'll see Poogle is not deciding to go for the 4th health. Now, this is something that is kind of a little bit of a meme with her, but also a serious part of her route. She, for a long time, has not taken that 4th health cell. In her last race, due to probably, you know, kind of she was at that 40 wall that you mentioned earlier, and she was just kind of lacking confidence. So she went for it, but this time she says, no, I'm feeling good again, so I'm going to go for 3 HP, which is actually her normal strats.
Yeah, I remember when she first talked about it, it was all like she got super scarred by like several attempts of just being awful with that 4th HP. She was like, you know what, I'm just going to learn all the 3 HP stuff. It's definitely not unheard of. We've seen not even some of the top tier runners decide to go 3 HP. I think the Lyra just earlier today did 3 HP. So, you know, it's all a personal preference on how safe you feel and how confident you are with that setup.
Yep, and it is going to give Poogle this slight advantage heading into the wall jump tree. She will, of course, have to give some of this back later in order to pick up a health cell. You cannot finish the game without a minimum of 5 health, and both runners probably going to go for 6 as well for that extra safety. But here comes Fant into wall jump, and there was Poogle leaving, so what about an 8-second deficit probably?
Yeah, and that's about how much time it takes to go up to that health cell. So we'll have to see if that makes a difference, because one costly death by Poogle because of the 3 HP will make that health cell choice null and void later on.
Yeah. Now, confidence, again, is something we're probably going to mention a bunch tonight, because that's a really big part of your ability to survive with 3 HP, is just being confident in your movements and not second guessing yourself and making a sudden change, because that will result in you definitely dying. Whereas right here, you know, making that damage boost movement through the elbow there, Poogle not having any problems, Fant as well. Both runners, this is going to be the difference between their last race against one another and this one, is that confidence level. They've both got it. It took a while. They had to get it back, but they both have it now, and you're seeing the results.
Yeah, once you get into your own little personal rhythm, as it looks like both of these runners are in it so far as we head down to Blackroot Burrows, getting those nerves out of the way before such a deadly place like Blackroot is so important, because there's spikes everywhere. There's a couple areas that if you fall into, you're completely screwed and you just have to like reload or just die. So again, we're getting some sync right here. Fant had some cleaner movement all on the way over to BRB, so we are almost tied right now.
You have a little bit of a messy menu there for Fant. You might have seen the mouse pointer come up as well. Fant is a hybrid player, so he is making use of his actual mouse. Some runners using DS4 controllers, I think notably Jayhawks, makes use of the trackpad as a mouse, but Fant is actually just taking his right hand off the controller and grabbing the mouse at certain times there. You also saw that RainbowPoogle took Quick Flame. That is part of her route as well. She goes for the magnetless Frankie Walk. That's something that she has comfort in, so it's not, you know, we don't have to sit here and be like, oh man, you know, I wonder if she'll be able to do this. She should. She's practiced it, and she's pretty confident, and we'll see that coming up. But for now, both of them making this XP jump. Poogle is a little bit cleaner, and Fant just able to get up there after 1 or 2 missed attempts.
And I wanted to note that safety save that Poogle placed down before coming back over the spike pit. We've seen a lot of deaths to that spike pit on the way back over, because those spikes do 3 HP. Oh, Poogle going for that cycle right there, nails it. So really nice job by Poogle, and is going to opt to do a save and reload. This is done to reset the platform cycles on a very specific cycle in order to do a manipulation coming up, and it's very, very good. Oh, and yeah, Fant having a little problem with his cycle.
Well, Fanta did not go for manipulation, so he's getting kind of the first cycle that's available to him. But you saw that manipulation that Poogle did was pretty good for her because she was able to get a 4-ish second faster cycle. So just she'd already opened up a little bit of a gap earlier in Blackroot Burrows and managing to take advantage of that cycle reload to save just another few seconds as well.
You know, I want to draw your attention to Poogle's screen. If you see the UI on, I'm not sure if Poogle has it's going to be really close to have enough XP to level up. Might have to kill a slime on the way out. I don't know if that's part of her normal route on the exit out, but we'll have to take note of that because that seems a little bit off based on the XP wheel.
I think I've seen Poogle in this situation before, and I believe this is intentional. She does grab the 15 on the way out of Blackroot Burrows, and it looks like her current count is probably around 22 to level up. So she will be fine if she takes that 15, and that'll put her really close to level to make the magnetless Frankie walk a little bit easier. Oh wow, at the perfect 1.
Dude, that's what I call a hashtag calculated right there. But yeah, so both of them doing the regular darkness cutscene skip, opting not for the new strat of the cutscene stack, because that blind movement is a bit spooky and you can autosave while falling down. So taking the safer route that only loses you a couple of seconds. Oh, and Poogle, I love Poogle does this every single time during races. We'll get in the rainbow dash with another one of those cheat codes, just like the color code. And it just is so weird because you just hear this odd sound whenever you dash. It's just way weird to listen to.
Yep. Meanwhile, Fant catches up a little bit because actually now we'll pass Poogle for 2 reasons. 1, she opted to take the safety save at the Spirit Well, and 2, she did have to pick up that aforementioned 15 XP. So now they're both working on Frankie Walk. Fant is just like 1 or maybe 2 jumps ahead, but this is going to be pretty tense here for a little bit as they're both going to enter the Death Gauntlet, and that is a place where really bad things can occur. So let's hope for Poogle to have no problems with the magnetless walk, and Fant and Poogle both to have no problems getting through their Death Gauntlet here. Here we go at the door. Got to get these level ups, and Fant is fine, gets a bonus energy. Poogle, oh wow, okay, she's fine as well. Ooh.
So actually, it was key that she killed that slime on the way out because she only got 5 from that drop right there, and she needed 2. So it was, oh no! But then the death. Oh wow. No, that's so bad because you're like right there past the horrible part. You can take it slow, and just goes directly into that spike. And you know, with 4 HP, you can actually, you know, take that hit right there normally if you don't take any extra damage from the poison water. That is really brutal for Poogle.
Yep, and she's gonna have to redo this Frankie walk, which she, you know, as you saw, it's not the magnetless part that's really scary. It's still the Death Gauntlet. Fant on the left, getting the early grotto cycle here, which is a very difficult trick that he has learned. You know, you're getting to see, you know, a runner of Fant's caliber as he's adopted all these new tricks in his repertoire over the course of the tournament. Poogle, meanwhile, perfect job on the magnetless Frankie walk again. And now we're going to see if she's able to avoid dashing directly into that bramble again.
Fant miscalculated. Oh no, and gets stunk by the Frankie as well. So we're going to have to do that again. But this is... I wanted to say Fant got a little bit trolled by the amount of damage he had to take and also the spider shot. So actually the ghost door didn't do anything for him right there. Just had to go through the door regularly. But yeah, Poogle's going to have to go a 3rd attempt going into that Death Gauntlet. Unfortunately, that other death, it wouldn't have mattered with 3 or 4 HP because the Frankie does 2 damage. So nothing Poogle could have really done in that situation.
Yeah, that Frankie with the dubious name of Frankly, named after Monkley, one of the tournament participants who once had a pretty epic dodge under him. Unfortunately, Poogle not able to get that kind of dodge, and this time she doesn't get the level up within range of the door. That is, wow. There's a pause from Poogle, and she is almost certainly pretty upset right now. 3 deaths to Frankie Walk after, you know, her goal here was really not to have this kind of thing happen.
Yeah, looks like Poogle might be having a little bit of tech issues in the background right here that might be affecting her play a little bit. So I'm unsure what that did with her other deaths, but it might be okay now, but she's going to keep going with it. as we see Fan just coming up to Water Vein right now, getting this completely out of sequence, and is going to head up to the Ginso tree right here in a little short bit.
Yep, and as he makes his way back up, we are seeing Poogle on the front walk again. And I'll just note that we have seen Poogle discussing in the Discord recently. She's been asking for ways to basically force her controller cable to stay connected, because for some reason that's been a problem for her recently. She uses a stock Xbox One controller, not the Elite variety. And I guess the micro USB cables are just not sticking in there. And so she's been trying to find ways to deal with it. But unfortunately not in time for this race, and that might, oh no, that might be giving her some problems, unfortunately.
Yeah, looks like might still be having those issues. Fan's been having a really good split so far on his side, and is going to be coming up on a sub 13 Ginso entry, which for his time is actually a very, very good pace. So really great job by Fant, just playing very consistent and strong right now through this early, going into the mid game.
All right, we're gonna see how this will develop for Poogle, and of course our planners are always aware of what's going on, so we're always making sure that if there is a situation bad enough that a runner might need some time to fix something up or even potentially reset the race, they're always, they're always on top of that sort of thing. So meanwhile, Fant entering the Ginso tree is going to be climbing this, positive Y-axis oriented dungeon to avoid using a buzzword, because that description is so much better. And he's doing these rooms pretty well so far. This room with the Gamers, of course, is always a challenge just because of the awkward movements that are kind of required. But he manages to traverse it very well and is making his way further up and continuing.
And gets that nice, oh, takes a little bit of damage on that bramble right there. Didn't want that, but got a nice swag hop from the last one onto that flower. That's a little difficult, but when you get it, it feels really, really good. And is coming up to one of the few auto scrollers in the early game, and just this puzzle room, and we'll be coming up to the first Ginso mini boss, which will provide only a little bit of RNG in the run based on the spawn location.
Yep, and it appears that Poogle is now using keyboard and mouse, which is an interesting departure, and I don't know what her level of experience with it is. I'm not sure if she's even practiced it. I will also note that there is an ongoing discussion about her situation, as certainly if she's losing time due to tech issues outside her control, that's not necessarily something that we want to force her to deal with, but that's being discussed. In the meantime, Fant dealing with the mini boss, which of course is just a shoot this thing till it dies type of deal, and he did pretty well. I believe he actually switches to mouse wheel there to do that boss, although I did not get to confirm whether he did or not.
Yeah, I'm unsure as well, but does a nice job getting these keystones. It's going to do a ghost story. It is coming up on most people's favorite skill, which is Bash, and it's going to allow us to do a lot of really cool swag movement, get us to do some really cool tricks here, even just in Ginso. So let's see how Fant does with this section, as unfortunately Poogle is really struggling to get accustomed to the KBM setup right now. Looks like having some trouble just getting the Frankie in the right position for the back half of it. So we want to give Poogle all of our energy that she can get this.
Yeah, and tech issues are just the most frustrating thing, to be held back from speedrunning because, you can't press the buttons correctly on a given strat. That's one thing. You can get better at that, but you can't get better at making your controller not, give you problems or whatever. Meanwhile, Fant working on his key duplication, and he just needs to get into this little nook here and take an intentional death, and he executes it well, so he gets the keystones duplicated and will be able to use them later, and now he'll resume his journey up the Ginso tree. Again, that death totally intentional and part of the route.
Yeah, and actually As of Bash, Fant was 12 seconds ahead of his PB, so really great pace from Fant over here. As going to the second Ginso mini boss, just a quick little Bash tutorial, just shooting 4 shots back, and we'll be not going to finish the tree, but it's going to opt to go back to Moon Grotto where we got that teleporter earlier, so that we can get into it a little bit different way by using our friend, the frog.
Well, friend's kind of a strong word.
Okay, our acquaintance, how about that? Because we're unsure whether it's a friend or not. We'll have to see pretty shortly here.
The frog that we know exists. Although, until Randomizer became a thing, we didn't really know that he existed, per se. At least not enough to make use of him in this particular way. But we're going to see some blind movement here in just a moment. I'm just kidding. We're going to see some lasers here in just a moment. They're very pretty lasers, nice and purple. It's a good color. And now Fant will be working on his swamp entry.
Yep, hopefully he'll get it first try. He's gonna drop a safety save, a very common safety save, so you don't have to like do all of that movement again. Really great setup at first try because on controller is gonna opt to take a damage boost right here, bait this shot one time, and then is gonna bait another shot over here in a second. And then goes, looks pretty good. Ooh, man, a little bit overeager right there, but the shot hits anyway, so really great first try swamp entry, and going for a little bit of a hyperspeed ghost door right here.
Okay, I'm going to cut you off real quick. So we do have word from our planners, and what's going to happen is we're going to go to a break here real quick. We're going to cut away from the action as we're going to pause the race. We're going to figure out if we are going to either replay this potentially right now or reschedule it, as Poogle's control issues obviously just it's not really a fair race as a result of that, through no real fault of Fant's, but also kind of not really Poogle's fault either. So we're gonna see what's gonna go on as we'll talk to the runners via SRL, and in the meantime we'll just get to talk about what we saw so far from Fant.
Yeah, definitely, because again, Fant was on a very, very good pace. Yeah, again, like you said, those tech issues are just really a pain in the butt. It's kind of out of your control as a runner. You just hope the technology works for you and you can rely on your mechanics to do the thing. But yeah, we'll see what we're gonna do as far as the broadcast right here in a second. Give us a moment, everyone. Just for the record, we're telling Fant to continue running. We're not telling him to stop. Because we see that in chat.
Yeah, it sounds like Fant is ahead of PB, and we're certainly not going to have him stop his run. So we're looking at rescheduling, but we may just have Fant continue, and we might just watch Fant.
Yeah, I just want to comment while we have a little bit of downtime that I just love all these moving backgrounds, and I just love that it's for every single type of skill that we have in the game. So shout outs to the production crew who put all of these together. Really great job.
Okay, we are back to the action as Fant did get through his stomp segment, but sorry, his charge flame segment, but here we'll be joining him back at the tree, and we'll be getting double Fant here, as you see, all the way across the screen. And he is still on potential PB pace, so this will be now just a solo run that you and I will get the joy of commentating here.
Dude, I like this is like a little bit of shoutcasting. I haven't done this in a long while. But yeah, so Fant coming up onto skipping over the spirit tree tutorial cutscene right there is opting a safe save. Oh, okay, accidentally did not got the air dash, but wanted to get the extra health regen as well, just for a little bit of added safety, probably coming up here in Valley. So that means he's probably going to take some safety saves. Oh,
Oh
And
gosh, Fant.
oh, the bird's stuck in.
What are you doing, bird? Get out there. Oh gosh, that's a very interesting and annoying time loss. I would very much not be surprised to see Fant take a safety save here. As you mentioned, he did go back to pick up Ultra Soul Link is what I think that ability is called, and it will cause his save points to restore 2 health. He doesn't throw one down there, but hopefully he'll throw one up here before the frogs eat him or the slime spikes him or he touches the spikes. Come on, Fant. Be kind to our hearts.
No, he's YOLOing this right now. All right, there we go.
Yeah,
Before
JK.
the bird boss, he puts down a save. Very, very smart save. You see a lot of people do that in the tournament because this bird, you think it's just an easy stomp on the head. No, that bird's AI can be really, really trippy. And it's going to do another safety save to get up at full health. Oh, can't decide whether is going to go for fast stompless, but opting for it in the end.
Yep. Well, I'm not sure that he was having trouble deciding. I know he goes for this trick routinely. That shot looked good. He's going back over here, taking the damage boost as he can, and collects the cell in time and has the UI on. So he's definitely going to be happy about that. But yeah, I'm not sure that was trouble making a decision there. I think he might have just flubbed a dash or something. It was kind of weird. I'm not sure exactly what occurred to him, but fortunately, he gets the feather, and we'll see what kind of pace he's on here shortly.
Yeah, and just want to reiterate that Ultra Soul Link decision paid off because if he didn't have that, he would have only been at 3 right there. So that would have been a lot more sketchy, and he couldn't have done the D-boost otherwise. So looks like Fant was a little bit ahead of his PB right here. So still on very good pace right now as he's going to go for Sara Bashichimp. Just going to get this frog over the position and going to head up there. Oh, a little bit trolled by the lantern right there. But no big issue so far, and is looking like an opt for the 2-bird setup.
Yep, not surprising here. I'm pretty sure this is the one that he has practiced and is comfortable with the entire time. And he does get good lure on that second bird. Oh, but a bad bash there. Now this is all right in terms of it is very possible for Fant to still PB even with 1 minor Sara Bash death. He can definitely get it this time. That aim is much better. He gets the bird up and he's in. So he will be able to continue into Sara Pass. And I want to note as well that Fant has a significant...
Oh my god, wait, did he hit the slime? Is that what...
I think that happened, yeah. That's incredible.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh, okay. He did not get the rocket jump there, and he's down to 2 energy, so he's just going to float up. That is so incredibly lucky. Just to complete that thought from earlier, he has a significant amount of time to save in his late game, so it is still distinctly possible. Even if he ends up behind his PB here, he could still salvage it with a strong endgame.
And I just want to go back, like that slime damage boost, man. He better go and give that slime like a steak dinner or something, man, after that one. Because that, I don't know if I've ever seen that happen of watching anyone. So that's incredibly lucky. But otherwise, Fant is still on really great pace. Only a little bit behind the PB because of the Sara Bash and that rocket jump spaghetti. But definitely within striking distance right here, as it looks like his XP is in a really good spot right now, so that's really good to see.
Yeah, this is definitely salvageable for him. It was about 15 or 16 seconds behind if I saw correctly there, and he can definitely save that back over the late game. But here we go now with Terra Break set up. He carried that save anywhere all the way through the spikes. Again, Fant has been putting in incredible work into this run to be able to not just surpass Poogle in this race against her, that will be rescheduling, but also to be able to, go on past that and surpass Hobbs in his next race, which of course is the opponent that he expects to meet. Although you never know, it might be Raziel, and then he's just doomed.
Yeah, so we're just gonna skip this cutscene using our save anywhere. This cutscene's really, really long. We don't have time for lore. If you want lore, there's like glitchless any percent or something like that. But here we gotta go fast. So we're gonna skip over this cutscene and we're gonna make our way, kind of go backwards in the sequence breaker we did to get up here, and we're gonna go down to Misty as we get an update on PB is about at the same delta, so not much time lost or gained right there. So really great job.
That's not the case, actually. He did save a couple of seconds there. It looked like about 10 seconds behind when he picked that sunstone up.
Okay.
So here we go, heading down into Misty now, and we'll see some nice feathers there. Just make sure that you don't die in that terrifying spike corridor. That's a good strat for both a PB attempt and a race. It works really well. So now we're heading into Misty, and you're going to see some of those lovely charge dash cancels with the bash skill, which refunds the energy, and so you can do a lot more charge dashes than you really should be able to. And we will also potentially, there we go, see some stomp cancels. Same deal, you stomp out of the charge dash and then jump out of the stomp, and then you can charge dash again. And that also prevents you from spending the energy. So this is really good execution on this first half of Misty so far from Fant.
Yeah, that movement is really, really satisfying. And it just makes you just feel like you're blazing through this area. And just a quick cutscene right here. And we'll be heading down the climb very shortly. Just one last major spike section that is extremely spiky. And by spiky, I mean there's spikes everywhere around you. So you got to do some nice, you know, movement right here. Just opting to take a little bit of safety feathers, a little bit close to those top spikes. But a really great job maneuvering through this area without any damage. And is going to be coming in here just a bit over 27 minutes for Fant. Very nice job in that first half of Misty. But the second half of Misty is just as difficult.
Yeah, that was a 27.09, so he's now 9 seconds ahead of his PB again. Ooh, oh god! Dashing directly into the spikes, taking 3 damage, somehow taking another damage from the slime there, and surviving, burning a crap load of energy, and he's into the spikes. Oh, that is a rough death. That was final destination levels of spaghetti leading up to that death. But fortunately, that is one of the cheapest, costliest deaths you can take in Misty, so... costliest? No, least costly. Best. Oh,
good
wow.
God, I don't know what ledge he just stomped on, but good Lord, I'm surprised he did not take damage right there. Still not opting for a save because he didn't take damage. We'll see if he opts to do it here coming up. Still not. A lot of people have been choosing to do it at the final keystone, so we might see it from him at that point, unless he doesn't take damage and is feeling confident through that area. Good job so far right there. Getting a nice little D-pad setup just so you can go directly to the right. Really only could do that on the controller. Oh, and a little bit of issue, but a nice job at knowing the backup right there.
And another good safety save from Fant as well, making sure that he is not going to lose huge amounts of time here to any mishaps in this meatball corridor. It's a very scary corridor. All these meatballs, 3 damage. They're all covered in spikes because that's the kind of meatball you want to have. Covered in.
I mean, anyway. I don't know about you, man, but my spaghetti and meatballs in any Italian restaurant have extra spikiness on them.
That was a very good mini boss quick kill. Not any of the, like, you know, conventional ones, but a very excellent execution of taking them out quickly on one cycle. So good job by Fant, making sure that he is making the absolute most of this opportunity so far. He took that one death coming out of climb, but he's playing well to do the best and save the most of the time that he has available on this segment.
Yeah, he's trying to go super fast. I'm wondering if he's maybe starting to feel the pressure right now of the situation as taking a little bit of an unnecessary charge dash, but a nice recovery right there because unless you fall down, it's kind of a big time sink. But we are now heading back to Blackroot Burrows to pick up our last skill, Light Grenade, and then we'll be off to finish the game. So just a little bit of movement right here and one final cutscene to skip.
Yeah, and again, these are segments where Fant really has some time to save, as long as he plays cleanly, particularly this grenade segment, but also the upcoming Mount Horu entrance and the final segment. Now, as we're coming to these final areas, I gotta mention that the big bugaboo for Fant has always been those tricks at the very end of the run that are just very difficult to pull off on a first try. Oh, Fant manages to recover there. He took the charge dash into the spikes, but that actually refunds your energy, hilariously enough. And then he managed to charge dash back to the bird. So he's okay. Oh, what just happened there? Oh, baby. Okay. We've got Fant's PB now streaming to you on the right side of the screen. And on the left side of the screen, it is his current place. So you will now be able to see if he is ahead of his PB. And as you can see right now, he is.
Yo, I want to give some shout outs to our production crew behind the scenes right now to get this going up. It's like you're going against that ghost ghost icon, you know, in like any of those like Mario Kart games or something like that, man. This is really sick right now. As waiting for this one, getting about the same cycle as he did in his PB right here, and is opting to play it a little bit of safe. There is a little bit of a rocket jump setup that you can do, but definitely easier to just take the time loss and not die by hitting that laser. So really great job so far. Ooh, and a nice little adaptation right there that's like really controller only for a quick setup. Just going off that wall, and is going to opt for that. I think that was maybe the 6th health cell, it looks like.
Yeah, that's correct. He'll be at, wait, hold on. Might not be correct. I don't know. We'll find out momentarily. He's getting caught up on this rock here. This one's really annoying, but he does remember that the correct way to deal with it is just wall run up the side of it, and then you're fine. And he is now continuing towards this energy pickup, which is always one you want to collect. Get some more charge dashes in, takes a little bit of damage, but he is going for this health cell. This one will be his 6th, and he will be having that extra level of safety for the final swim in the final escape.
Yeah, I have to note, most people do not take a safety save over here at this level of play, so he is opting not to. He's just doing the movement right here, so he's going to have maximum amount of energy to get to the horror door as fast as possible. Going to get up on this pillar and auto charge dash right here. And so compared to PB, on a pretty good pace right now in the cutscene without even being close to the door. So that's really, really good. And we'll have to see how Fant does on door warp right here.
Yep, this is a very similar pace to the one that he had earlier, right before this race, basically. And he lost that one to a combination of door warp and grenade jump. Here we go. First attempt for Fant does not succeed. He still has a little bit of time here as his PB is catching up to him. Oh boy, here we go. Come on, Fant, take energy. Get door warp. That's it.
Oh, there it is. Third try. Very nice job by Fant right here. So all he has is one final escape. Ooh, a little bit of troll himself right there with that double jump. So he's gonna get Kuro to come chasing after him right here. And again, cannot take any damage because the water's still poison at the end and we need 4 HP. So really can't take any damage throughout this.
Yep, but he can at least afford a little bit of, if he manages to pull off the 4 HP swim, he can afford to get Sigma rocked at the very end, but he certainly doesn't want any of that either. He wants to make it through cleanly, and so far he is. There's some very nice movement. Just needs to make sure he doesn't get the accidental deep stomp there, but he doesn't. So he doesn't get trolled by falling directly into the fire. And here we go, coming into this last S and the poison water swim.
Yeah, with 6 HP, can just stomp down there. So getting through there, a nice swim. I think only took 4 damage, so has an extra one to play with right here. Does definitely skip the Kuro spawn, and is going to head up here for the grenade jump. Is going to line up for the setup, and it's up there. Oh, one miss right there. I think still has a full energy to work with. Goes for a second time, and he's in there. And that is a GG for Fant. With, it looks like a PB, and yes, Ori is moving. That will be a PB for Fant. Congratulations to him.
What an awesome finish. I'm so glad that we got to broadcast his PB here as basically like race commentary. This is awesome. And he's going to be coming in. This looks like a 34...
Yes, that's definitely the amount of seconds in this one. I believe it's, let's see here. It looks like it's going to be a 36, but we'll get complete confirmation right that in a second here. Yeah, looks like we got confirmation it is a 36. So, wow, GG to Fant, man. That was a great job pulling it through with third try door warp and really a second try grenade jump. Really solid.
Yep, the 9-second PB, apparently 37 based on the auto splitter timer, which was on his stream, which I'll certainly we'll trust that since that's that's gonna be his PB VOD since we had to cut away for a full minute. But yeah, what a great performance by Fant in this race, just staying on that same pace yet again on a no reset run too. To be able to stay right there with your PB on that no reset run, it really just shows how good he's gotten, and the fact that he is on the cusp of absolute greatness here. He's gonna get a 33 in like no time. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So that was really fun. That was I think of all the times I have done commentary, that was easily top 3 for me fun, because when's the opportunity for you to like actually commentate someone against their physical current PB in this type of setting. It's just really, really cool.
Yep, it's definitely the best thing to come out of a situation like like that, with unfortunately having to kind of call off the race and reschedule it for a later time. But being able to say, hey, like, we have a runner who's playing on incredible pace, and we don't want to ruin their run. He should just keep going. He's going to have another opportunity to race Poogle, and it's going to be better. And also, Poogle won't have the tech issues get in the way, so she'll be able to play to her potential as well. And I bet that race will be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, because again, those tech issues are something that's completely out of your control, and it's really great for planners to be very understanding of that situation. And we want a nice, fair, clean race. With nobody taking advantage of somebody else's tech issues that's not in their control. So, we are going to be rescheduling that match whenever they can get that rescheduled. But yes, we had a race of Fant's new PB against Fant's old PB, and obviously the new PB won out right there. So
it sure did. And speaking of winners, here's our winner, Fant, joining us in the call. Fant, congratulations on your new PB.
Thanks.
Just tell us how you feel.
Well, first of all, I had no idea this was still going. I thought after Google had controller issues that, like, you killed the broadcast and it's like, okay, come back next week or whatever. So I finished up, and then I see like someone in Turbid Live go, I was like, oh, he got like a 37 or something like that. I was like, wait, what? They were still watching this?
Yeah, I wanna know how you felt, because we could see it obviously from about Grenade on where you were against your PB, but how are you feeling as far as nerves?
I knew I was
a
close.
Little bit of spaghetti on the. Yeah, we saw a little bit of spaghetti kind of coming out from Misty exit. So how are your nerves?
My hands were like shaking the entire time. So yeah, it was rough. I knew I was head at feather. I botched charge jump, but then like gained time through the end there.
I mean, from watching your previous PB attempts, I definitely seen you had a fair bit of time to save in the late game. So I was really looking to that as being the way that you would, be able to pull this one out. And you certainly didn't disappoint. Kind of tell us the story of your splits, because we obviously don't get to see your splits on screen, but tell us the story of how that went relative to your PB.
Oh, let me open up my layout so I can actually see. Ori layout, there we go. Oh, I actually got a gold, hey. So it started off wall jump through double jump are kinda even in my old PB I wasn't too happy with those. So but after that I gained time consistently through stomp, and then I had some serious spaghetti coming out of charge flame to glide. Like, I messed up one of the level ups, had to place a save, took a bunch of damage, but so I ended up glide almost tied with my PB, and then lost almost 20 seconds on the way up to charge jump because I'm really bad at rocket jumps apparently.
Speaking of which, I want to give, we said it during the commentary, but I want to give a special shout out to that slime that gave you the spot so you didn't have to take the 4 damage.
Oh yeah, I did notice that. I was like, oh my god, thank you, slime. The only time I've ever done that. Funnily enough, like my last couple runs, that's happened. So I think like the way I do my movement there is almost the same every time. So I get like a little buffer zone from the slime, I don't know, goo that comes out. It coats the spikes and makes them a little bit more bouncy, so they don't deal as much damage.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just hit the slime thing and that's 1 damage, and then it forgets to deal the spike damage, and there you go.
Yeah, so like from charge jump on, I was just making little bits of gains. The biggest one being climb, where I gold hit the climb split. That brought me from like 8 seconds behind at Sunstone to 10 seconds ahead at climb. Some serious spaghetti and the death on the way to light grenade didn't help. Still just barely ahead at light grenade. But I knew I had plenty of time to save on the way to Horu, because like in my last PB I had to do like some reps doing a whole bunch of stomps down to the 6th health cell, like just jumping up doing it like 3 or 4 times. Don't ask me why it happened. I don't even know how it happened, but yeah. So but I know the door warp and grenade jump, I'd have to do reasonably well on those in order for a PB at that point. So I think second try, I was like, oh man, am I going to throw it away again?
Well, that's true. You had that run on very good pace, like just earlier, right before Jay Halcyon and Zarla played, and that you lost that one to the same stuff. Was that kind of in the back of your head, like, oh god, am I doing this again?
Oh, definitely. I think I didn't see the splits at the time, but I thought, I was like, man, this is like almost the same exact pace I was on in the run I did earlier, which I got like a 35-10 in due to some serious door warp spaghetti. But I just managed to barely pull it out.
Yeah,
so still lots of time save at the end for me.
Yeah, so I don't have any more questions. That was just super fun to commentate. But again, like we mentioned, we will be getting the match rescheduled. So good luck on that match coming up, Fant, whenever you do get that rescheduled.
Oh man, I hope it's soon, because the longer it goes, Poogle's going to get like a 31, and it's going to be impossible.
Oh my god.
That's why I had to face her so early, because she's getting so good so fast. I basically have to PB to feel safe.
Well, you did that today. Definitely a shame that it couldn't be, in the actual race, but the way you've been playing, I would not be shocked if you were on a similar pace in your next race. So I look forward to watching that. And congratulations again, dude.
Thanks.
All right, so Trojan, we got 2 matches coming up tomorrow. What do we have?
All right, yeah, we got a couple good matches tomorrow. Coming out, I believe, both from the lower bracket. We've got a preliminary round match between Iced and Evoki at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then we've got Pixel against Skyfo in that round of 64 match in the lower bracket at 5 p.m. Eastern. We don't have any channels for those yet, but stay tuned. Tomorrow will probably pop up on the schedule. So yeah, should be a couple of good races.
That's for sure. This, of course, was definitely a treat to watch. It's not what we were expecting, watching a PB attempt instead of a race, but I'll take it. And I'm certainly happy to see a friend get a PB. But in the meantime, that's going to do it for us tonight. We will all go get some sleep, as it is midnight Eastern and even 9 p.m. on the West Coast. Or if you're in Europe, you can feel free to wake up. But whatever. Do what you like. Your sleep schedule is none of my business. What is my business is come on back tomorrow and watch some more Ori. We'll be happy to have you. I've been Voligen, and I've been with Trojan Dude. And Trojan, thank you so much for commentating tonight.
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure, man. I had a lot of fun.
Likewise. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you later, guys.
Damage as they head through. So, ooh, nice job. And wow, Yoko. Oh,
no. Oh, no, Yoko. Oh, my goodness. Please be careful.
He hasn't taken any, really bad deaths as result, but...
Oh, no.
Why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Yeah, true shade. So we're going to see what D2 decides to do. Nice safety save there. And wow, the value from the safety save.
The trick itself requires precisely positioning a frog and managing your XP, but because that can happen, because that froggy has a chair and it can stomp it right on your tiny little head.
Oh god, Milton, get out of there!
Holy crap, the recovery from that.
It's deceptive. Ooh, deceptively difficult. Rufus.
Holy
so
crap, Rufus.
Oh,
oh god.
Fix it.
And what is happening now?
I don't know.
Oh, Monkley's shot going through.
Oh, he's missed the double bash, though. He's gotta go back up. Monkley's shots are facing the floor. I hope he does not get that on the upper one. Jesus, broken his swamp.
Oh, Monkley getting hit by the shot.
Metal that Terra did. Oh, missing that, but he's got the backup. That's okay. Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh. Okay, try again. Just this time you can get to the 1-on-1.
What you've seen from runners like Lucidus, Uncle Ronnie, and Eviona so far in the tournament. And oh, wow.
Man.
I do not know how he survived.
Both runners getting that 5th.
Oh, Randomson had a really... Wow, what a nice backup, though. Randomson had trouble with the first spider shot, but now it's basically tied.
Go stomp the rocks. And oh,
Fluffy, what
I
are
didn't
you
know you could do
doing?
that.
Oh,
You really just keep
goodness.
moving and skip that cutscene?
Oh God, Hori's in the air. Hello.
Oh no. Oh, Frankie. Frankie, please go away. Oh, that is so
no.
painful.
Oh, this is a party. Luckily, he does have a series.
Yeah, mini boss is not quite going according to plan. Melvin's gonna go with the stomp spam. Keep that frog away. Get out of here. Don't hit me with your chair. He says he gets through it okay, and we'll be just finishing up Misty.
The section is really difficult with the 5 health. Alright, he gets the bash off of the fish. So yeah, he gets through, but upcoming here is
He's
the
spawned through!
Oh, he died! Death! Richard is in the lead. No, they're tied. Richard just died as well.
What?
This is literally synced in the final escape, guys. Unbelievable.
They both stomped the thing together. Okay.
Each one of those grenades costs 1. He's got 1 left. That's enough for 2 grenade jump attempts. If he keeps missing in that particular way, he's got 1 chance left.
One more.
And he gets it! The
First
clutch!
try, and well, not first try, but you know what? First try.
We'll call it first try.